My wife came home 3 nights ago. The problem is, I watched her die. And whatever is sleeping beside me now knows I know that she isn't my wife.
The coffin was closed. Everyone said it was for the best. The accident had been severe. Nobody argued. The funeral lasted less than an hour. Flowers, prayers, tears. Then it was over. I returned home alone. Or at least, I thought I was alone. At 11:17 p.m. that night, someone knocked on the front door. 3 slow knocks. I opened it and dropped to my knees. My wife was standing there. Wet, cold, smiling. She looked perfect and not injured, nor bruised and not dead, but perfect. Also the same voice and the same eyes, the same perfume, the same wedding ring. When I asked what happened, she simply said, "I got lost." That answer should have terrified me. But instead, I hugged her immediately. Because I wanted to believe. I needed to believe. She is real and alive.
The first warning came from the cat, 'cause I know animals always know. The moment it saw her, it froze and its fur stood straight up. Then it screamed, not meowed, screamed. The sound was almost human. The cat bolted under the couch and it never came out again. The second warning came at dinner. She didn't eat. She watched for almost an hour. Then, around midnight, I woke up thirsty. I walked into the kitchen. The refrigerator door was open, and she was crouched inside it. Not in front of it, but inside the refrigerator, like a spider folded into impossible angles. As her head slowly turned toward me, and the milk dripped from her chin, and her eyes reflected the light like an animal's. The next day, I drove her to church, not for prayer, but instead for a test. As we approached, she became very quiet, extremely quiet. And then she whispered, "Please don't take me in there." That wasn't unusual. What was unusual was that her shadow wasn't attached to her anymore, but it remained standing beside the road and watching the car drive away. That night, I heard movement below the house. The basement door was open. I never opened it. The smell hit me first. Rotting flowers, wet soil, blood. I followed the sound and found hundreds of dead birds arranged in circles. Each circle contained one thing: a human tooth. My teeth. Missing teeth I didn't even know I'd lost. I finally searched her grave. The coffin wasn't empty. She was still inside, still buried, still dead. The thing in my house knew that I knew, because when I returned home, it had written a message across every wall, using mud, using blood, using something else. The message was the same. I never said I was her. The creature wasn't a demon. Not exactly. Demons possess. This thing replaced. It peeled identities away like skin. It wore memories. It wore voices. It wore lives. When I finally saw its true form, it was in a woman form and drenched with water, with white skin and few scanty hairs on her head, with black color surrounding her big eyes, like those eyes was about to pop out. She has shark-like teeth. She also wore a bloody white and dirty apron, and she wasn't smiling. The next morning, The house was empty. No fight, no screams, no evidence. Just breakfast on the table. 2 plates, 2 cups of coffee, and a wedding photograph. In the picture, the creature was standing beside me. Not my wife. The creature. And judging by my smile, it had been there from the very beginning. If someone you loved returned from the dead tonight, would you let them inside? Tell me in the comments. And remember, not everything that comes back is the thing you lost. If you ever go camping deep in the forest and hear a whistle after midnight, don't whistle back, because whatever is making that sound isn't trying to find you. It's trying to make you reveal where you are. A group of 6 friends decided to spend a weekend camping in the mountains. The location was remote. No cell service, no nearby roads, no houses for miles. Just trees, endless trees. The kind that seemed to swallow sunlight even during the day. By sunset, they had already set up camp. A fire crackled in the center, tents surrounded it. Everything felt normal at first. While gathering firewood, one of the friends discovered something carved into a tree. The message looked old, very old. It simply read, "Do not answer the whistle." Everyone laughed. Someone joked that it was probably left by another camper. The warning was forgotten by midnight. They wished it hadn't been. The first whistle came shortly after midnight. Soft, distant, 3 notes floating through the trees. Everyone heard it. The sound seemed far away, almost peaceful. One of the campers smiled and whistled back. The forest immediately became silent. The insects stopped. The wind stopped. Even the fire seemed quieter. For several seconds, nothing moved. Then another whistle answered, much closer. The next morning, they found tracks. Not animal tracks, not human tracks. Each footprint looked like a giant hand pressed into the earth. 5 long finger marks, 1 palm, as though something enormous had been walking on its hands. The prints circled the camp all night long. Nobody wanted to leave. Curiosity is a dangerous thing. That night they stayed, and at exactly midnight, the whistle returned. This time, it came from directly behind one of the tents. One camper grabbed a flashlight and unzipped the tent flap. Nothing, just darkness. Then, the whistle came again, from inside the tent. One friend finally saw it, high in the trees. Not standing, not hanging, crawling. It moved from branch to branch like an enormous insect. Its body was covered in pale bark-like skin. Its limbs bent the wrong way. And where a face should have been, there was only a hollow cavity, a dark tunnel leading into its head. The whistle came from inside that hole. The next whistle sounded familiar, too familiar, because it wasn't random anymore. It sounded exactly like one of the campers. Then another, then another. The creature had begun copying voices. Not words, just sounds. Laughter, coughs, sneezes, whistles. The forest became filled with fake versions of them, echoing from every direction. They followed the whistles, a mistake. Deep inside the forest, they discovered a clearing. At its center stood a dead tree, and hanging from every branch were camping backpacks, hundreds of them, some old, some new, some still dripping rainwater. Beneath the tree lay a nest built from tents, sleeping bags, and bones.
The whistles stopped. The forest became silent. Then came the clicking. Every tree around them began clicking, one after another, like a signal passing through the woods. The creature wasn't alone. Dozens of hollow-faced things emerged from the trees, watching, waiting, listening for someone to whistle. Campers still visit those woods. Most never hear anything. Some hear a whistle. A few whistle back. And according to local hikers, if you're walking through the forest at night and hear your own whistle coming from somewhere ahead of you, turn around, because whatever made that sound is already behind you. There is a house on the edge of town that nobody stays in for long. Not because it's haunted, not because people hear voices, but because every family that moves in eventually loses a child, and every missing child is later seen playing with the same little girl. A little girl who died inside that house. A little girl who doesn't want to be alone anymore. A young family moved into the old house during summer. The house was beautiful. Large windows, a huge backyard, quiet neighborhood, the perfect place to raise children. The parents had heard the rumors. Every town has rumors. They ignored them. Their 8-year-old daughter loved the house immediately, especially the upstairs playroom. She spent hours there alone, talking, laughing, playing games. The strange thing? She always seemed to be talking to someone.
A few days later, the parents asked who she was talking to. The girl smiled and pointed toward an empty rocking chair. "My new friend." The chair was empty. The parents laughed. Children have imaginary friends. It's normal. Then their daughter said something strange. She says she's been waiting a very long time. The parents exchanged nervous looks. Who? The little girl.
Soon the drawings began. The daughter filled entire notebooks. Every page showed the same girl. Black hair, white dress, bare feet, always smiling. Sometimes standing alone, sometimes standing beside children. Lots of children. The number seemed to grow every day. The parents assumed it was imagination, until one drawing appeared. The daughter had drawn herself standing among them, holding the ghost girl's hand.
Concerned, the parents visited the local library. The house had a history. Decades earlier, a young girl had disappeared inside it. Her body was eventually discovered hidden beneath the floorboards of the nursery. Nobody knew who killed her, nobody knew why. But from that day forward, children began reporting seeing a lonely little girl, always asking the same question: "Will you play with me?" The daughter became obsessed. Every night she claimed the ghost girl taught her new games. Hide and seek, tag, hopscotch, games nobody else could see. One night her mother woke up and found her outside, standing alone in the backyard at 3 a.m, speaking to empty air, then laughing as though someone had told a joke. The daughter vanished 2 weeks later. No broken windows, no signs of kidnapping, no footprints, no struggle. Her bedroom remained untouched, except for one thing: a new drawing. The ghost girl stood smiling, holding the missing child's hand. Together, they walked toward a distant playground, and behind them, dozens of other children followed. Months later, a local teenager entered the abandoned property at night. He recorded everything. The footage was never released publicly, but rumors spread. People claimed the video showed children playing in the backyard, children who should not have been there. Children reported missing over many years, all laughing, all holding hands, and leading them the same little girl, still smiling, still searching, still lonely. The ghost wasn't evil, not in the way people imagined. She wasn't collecting souls out of hatred. She wasn't seeking revenge. She was simply a child trapped alone for decades, a child who wanted friends forever. And children never stay forever, unless she makes them.
The house still stands. Families still move in. Children still report seeing a little girl in a white dress. And every now and then, another child disappears. If you ever hear a child asking you to play, be careful, because some games never end, and some friends never let go.
If your child told you they had a new friend that only they could see, would you believe them? Let me know in the comments. And remember, loneliness can create monsters far more terrifying than hatred.